Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. We are back with another episode of We Need Each Other podcast. And tonight is going to be a super, super special night. We are so excited. I'm going to drop our topic right there. And let me just get my partner in crime. 1 second. Oh. Are you on? Are you on, Josh? On. Wait. I gotta do a drum roll for you.
I'm sorry, I didn't even wait.
Welcome.
Drum roll, we back with another banger. What's up? How you feeling, girl?
I'm feeling good. Good. How are you? Good
I'm
evening.
awesome. I was mad anxious to join. I ain't even wait. I just said, go live with her. I just said, yeah, I'm feeling good.
I tried to put our topic, our title, but for some reason it did not pop up. But I did put it, I dropped it in the comments and I pinned it. So tonight we are going to speak about the importance of taking care of you. You know, we have our very special guest, a mental health therapist, and someone super, super special and dear to my heart. My sister Jazmine, she'll be joining us shortly. But yeah, for now, you're going to enjoy Josh and I.
Amen. Shout out to everyone who's joining. Shout out to everyone who's checking it out. Peace to you. Wave to everyone. Wave. Hey. What's up? How are you? Good evening.
Thank you for joining, everyone. Josh, so I wanted to start off a couple episodes ago. I love how you mentioned.
First of all, hold on. Oh, wait. You look amazing. I just had to say that. I just had to.
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
Likewise. Yo, that is the definition of giving people their flowers while they're here, right?
Now carry on.
Thank you. Likewise. So, I loved how, I believe it was like 2 episodes ago, you started off by, paying your respects and just pouring out love to anyone who lost someone. And recently, my city of Springfield, we lost someone super, super special. So, I just wanted to shout out, just pour love and prayers and send light to everyone who's hurting. Rest in peace, Kayla. Rest in peace, anyone who unfortunately we just lost, or anyone who's grieving, because it is a really, really tough time. And, life is really unpredictable. So, love on your people and give people their flowers while they're still here. So just wanted to start off with that. And I'm sending my love, my light, and prayers to everyone affected. And to anyone who's grieving, because grief is a lifelong journey. You can grieve someone forever. I have lost people in my life years and years ago, and I'm still grieving them. So lots of love, prayers.
That was important. Rest in peace, and yes, much love.
Yes. Now, we also want to celebrate life, right? Celebrate that we're still here. So how are you feeling?
I'm awesome. I'm excited to have this talk. This is one of the talks that I've kind of been anticipating since we started the podcast. And I've been wanting to have your sister on. I wanted to have her on, and I wanted to kind of explain. First, when we engage in the mental health talk, I knew it was so big that we had to break it down. And I know it was something that was so needed that we had to talk about different aspects of it. So to even go in on the self-care aspect of it today really hits home for me in the most. So this is like very personal to me, something that I personally experienced, putting people before myself and not putting myself first, taking inventory of where I'm at in life and how I can do better. Sometimes I speak better to people than I speak to myself. Sometimes I do things for people that I won't do for myself. So to take inventory of that and really understand how that is really hits home. So I'm here for this. I'm here for it.
First of all, shout out to you. I love how you articulate your words. And I'm going to take that from you. Taking inventory. I love that. I've never used that term while thinking, taking inventory of how I take care of myself or how I talk to myself. That's super important. And,
Thank you.
I feel like a lot of times it's a lot harder for you men to even acknowledge to yourself that, you know what, I do need some self-care, or I need a break from whatever, from fatherhood, from being a husband, from just working hard. So I have a question for you.
Let's go. Shoot.
How has the lack of self-care affected you in past relationships?
Wow. Wow. So sometimes you ask if you could run the question by me first, and sometimes I wish you would have ran it by me first, because now I got to think about it really. Cool. So
Right,
how
right.
has the
No,
lack?
because you're always like, save it for the podcast. So here we
No,
are.
it's fine. It's fine, because you want a real natural reaction. How has
Absolutely.
the lack of showing myself love,
And
showing up in
self-care. Yep.
self
Self-love and
care,
self-care.
showing up in romantic relationships? Is that?
Yep.
Ooh.
So the lack of
I'm,
that, the lack of you giving yourself self-care and self-love, how has that
uh,
affected your romantic relationships?
mm, mm, mm. That's deep. That's
Mm,
deep. I love that one. First of all, I love that one. I love that one. Sometimes, often, like I said, you do more for other people than you do for yourself. I think
mhm,
sometimes people see that, and it's kind of like someone who is taking care of themselves, almost like a celebrity who goes into the club, right? They give the bottles to the people who they know have the money. They give the bottles to the people who, and then the people who need it, those are the people who are buying, have to buy their own drinks. So I think what happens is once you take care of yourself on the real level, people show you that same love back, where they just throw
mhm,
stuff at you. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I think people sense
mhm.
the lack of love that I may have in myself, and they may not show that to me. So it's like a cycle that kind of keeps repeating. Vice
Wow.
versa, when I'm really like on it and I'm showing myself love, whether that's self care and working on my body, working on my mind, I'm really on it. It shows up in every aspect of my life, and people just pour love at me. So
Mm,
there's time I went through degrees of lovelessness where it feels like a bit of a drought, but I know that's just a reflection of
mm.
how I'm feeling myself. So it's like when
Wow.
you're shining, people can see it, and when you're
Absolutely.
not shining or you're neglecting yourself, people feel it.
Mm.
Yes, I've felt it.
So do you feel like past partners have not shown you that type of self-care or or love because they saw that you were not giving it to yourself? Or
I do, and sometimes it's instinctually. People don't really
right, right,
like quantify it, or people don't really understand that's what they're doing.
right.
But vice versa, when you see someone else who's taking care of themselves, you want to kind of shower them, or you
Absolutely.
kind of pay extra attention to them. And people who are not showing love to themselves, instinctually, I say they don't have it in themselves, so they don't even have it for me. Like I said, it's very instinctually. It's not something that people really think about it in a real kind of way, but that definitely shows up. And to be very honest and transparent, I'd probably be married. I'd probably have a lot more, because when you have that top tier love,
Mm-hmm.
you see it. It shows up.
Sure.
And I just think sometimes when I haven't loved myself totally, so people haven't stepped into my life to kind of do the same thing. And that's just being transparent.
Mm. I love what you just said. You know, I haven't been loving myself as much as you should, because I think that's so hard for a man to even admit. I think is, you know, you guys are the providers, but it's okay. The providers still need someone providing for them too. Whether sometimes us as women, even if we don't provide for you financially, but we still need to be that support system for you, because whether you're a man or a female, you're still human. And
Mm,
I think a lot of more men need to speak up about this, and you need self-care and you need the support as well.
mm.
Why do
Talk
you think
about it.
it's so hard for a man to say, you know what, I need time for myself?
Funny, when you even say that, it sounds feminine. It sounds
Mm.
like a feminine principle. Just even saying that, I need to take time for myself. It sounds like something I would hear women say, even though I understand that it's universal. And I'm not saying that it's solely regarded to just women,
Right.
but the principle of nurturing and care. It's a feminine principle. And like I said, it's not regulated to just females.
Right.
But sometimes in building, you excuse how you feel. So sometimes it's going hard, regardless of how you feel.
Mm.
Even if you don't want to do it, you do it. And that goes in with family, that goes in with business and different kind of things. We know we have to show it regardless. There's no time to complain. There's no, especially when you view yourself as like the apex of your family.
Right.
I don't want to show that. I don't want to show that I'm in pain. I don't want to show that I need to take that time. But I do understand as you mature, it has so like putting on your mask first before you put on the child's mask. If you have a baby, you're on the plane, the first thing they'll look you in your face and they'll say, make sure if there's a change in cabin pressure, make sure and the mask drops, you put on your mask first, and then you put on the baby's mask first. But instinctually, as a man, those things go down. I'm gonna strap my baby up first, and then I'm going to me. But understanding in terms of self-preservation, in terms of self-love, we need to make ourselves strong so we can hold everyone else down. And if we're depleted, everyone else is gonna fall. Oof. Boom, boom, boom. Yo, shout out to everybody coming in.
Let me drop the mic. Drop the mic.
No, so real quick, I gotta shoot it back at you. How has your lack of love affected you in your past romantic relationships or even current state?
My lack of self-love. Okay. So yeah, I'm like, because that just gave me flashbacks. I'm huge on self-love. I'm huge on self-care. If you know me, you know that I make myself a priority because I know the importance of that. However, I'm a woman, and it's in our nature to cater to you guys, especially when I'm in love. I am in love. And the lack of self-love shows up because, and it's so crazy because thinking back, I never even realized that I was putting my past partner first. I was in a long-term relationship with someone who was fighting a health condition, and I stopped taking care of me. I completely just stopped taking care of me. Everything was, is he good? Did he eat? Is he okay? How's his mental? How are his finances? Is he at work? Is he happy? Is he sad? And it, the point, I didn't even realize that I had lost myself in the process until after I got out of the relationships, until after years later, until after I went through my healing process. And even, it was so crazy because I used to even pray for him before I prayed for myself. Like, that was even, my opening prayer was, God protect him.
Wow, that part.
And the lack of self-care and self-love. I mean, I still took care of myself, of course. I still did things that brought joy to my heart, but he was always a priority, no matter what, on good or bad times. So that's why I'm also very excited for this episode, because I think it's a reminder for us all. And then it came to the point that I felt like I was lost. I felt like I was broken. I felt like my cup was empty, but yet again, I was making sure his cup was full. And I had to take it back and just, figure out a balance. I feel that moving forward, and when I get into my next relationship, I am going to balance that out, and we're both going to practice self-care together, because if you're good, I'm good. If I'm good, you're good. And our relationship is good. So to answer your question, the lack of self-love and self-care definitely affected me in past relationships, for sure.
Trust me, when you shine, people not only see it, but they just want to stand next to it. They just want to stand next to it. And people will not only take care of you, because you're doing it for yourself. People will pour love in your life in the most incredible way. But it starts from the root.
I think it's also important too to remind ourselves that it's okay to make ourselves a priority, because it came to the point that I would feel selfish and guilty. Like, why am I practicing self-care? Why am I taking time for myself when I know that he needs me? So it's very important. You need to come first. It sounds selfish, but at the end of the day, you need to come first. And not only just as a partner, you need to come first in order to be a good parent, in order to run a business, in order to be a good sibling, a daughter, a son. You need to put yourself first.
Amen. It's like the first law of nature, self-preservation.
It is imperative, absolutely. Hello.
That's why it's so important.
So much for joining. We appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out to everyone pulling up. I see y'all in the chat. Amen, amen, amen to you. Yes. What's up, my brother? What's up, my sister, and everyone joining? This is dope. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Should we bring our special guest in, or what else you got in mind? What else you got in mind?
I do have another question, but what I want to do, I want to pose it to both of you guys. So I don't want to hold her any longer. I just want to, I just want to just get right to it. Let's talk to it. So let's bring her in without further ado.
Let's bring her in. Let's invite her. All right. Give me 1 second. Here we are.
And somebody say yes. I can imagine her clapping. She's like, yes.
Right. She's like, yes, girl. Hey, Cassandra. Yes. Take care of you first.
Drum roll. Hold on.
Hello, hello. Welcome to our beautiful special guest, Jazmine.
Hi, guys.
So real quick, I had a great introducing mental health therapist and self-proclaimed self-love advocate, Jazmine Delacruz. Shout out to you. What's up?
Hello.
How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. I am feeling pretty good.
The sparkles.
Oh, do you? Oh, wait, hold on. I can't see what I look like, so I'm just messing with this. Okay,
yep, there we go. That's good.
All right.
Okay, that's good. How can I hide the comments? Can I do that?
Yeah, I see them streaming over my face too, so I just ignore them. I just be so caught up in the conversation. Yeah. I wish I could just swipe them to the side.
Thank you, guys. I feel amazing. I really do. I just had a birthday yesterday, and I'm very grateful, thankful, blessed. I'm very, very happy. It was amazing. It was a day full of self-care, actually. So it was.
Yeah, I was definitely going to highlight that. And since we have you here, what I wanted to do is not only celebrate your new year coming in, but everyone else who has a birthday, whether this month, whether this year, it doesn't matter. If you have a birthday period, real quick, I did to get my glass. So real quick, if anyone can grab, it could be a bottle of water, it could be a Capri Sun, a glass of vino, anything. Real quick, we'll just toast everyone. We're going to celebrate life.
That says, "Hooray! It's my birthday."
Razzle dazzle. So, first and foremost, we're saying happy birthday to you on this new year. I pray this year be super successful, a year of self-love, of self-inventory, and just progression.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Bless you with many, many more.
Thank you.
All those Scorpios out there, happy birthday.
Yes.
Scorpio, yes. Thank you.
If you got a birthday period, happy birthday to you.
But yes, thank you for being here. We really appreciate you and your time. And this is such an important topic, self-care, mental health, putting yourself first, taking care of you.
All of it.
So let's just start off. Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into the field.
So what can I say? I am Kayla's sister. I've been in the mental health field for like 12 years. Yes, a little more or less, something like that. How did I get? So I always like criminal justice, psychology, like those were my two things. So when I was in college, I was given the opportunity to do a double major for the same amount of time. So I was like, why not? And I ended up having a major in psychology and in criminal justice. And then I ended up doing my master's in forensic psychology because there's a lot there. Like those two topics really, 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 really go together. A lot more than people might think. And so I did a lot of like internships in places like at the women's jail, at the courthouse, and really saw the correlation between psychology and criminal justice. And that was kind of like just my thing. And then after graduation, I started working with like a day treatment type of program. And after I received my degree, it was a really good company, but when I received my degree and the level of disrespect with the offer they had after my master's degree, I was like, I'm out of here. So, and again, that's part of self-love, self-care, self-advocacy. And then from there, a friend of mine who actually graduated college with me, she was working for like the child support like office and stuff, and she's like, this is not like what my degree is in, and she's like, oh, I heard about this job, and we applied together and we actually got hired together. So I worked for an agency that pre-pandemic I would do, it's a mental health agency, and my like the where I work, the population is 99% Hispanic. So it's like I'm working with my people for my people, which is what I like the most, because it has to be relatable, and people need to understand that mental health is okay, and it's important. So I was working at a public school, and doing outreach and at the office too. And since the pandemic, I've been doing telehealth, and that's where I'm at. And I think I might stay telehealth forever. It has its pros and cons, but I mean, during the summer and stuff, I like to do outreach still and stuff like that. But yeah, so my caseload of clients is from 5 to 85. So all ages, all both sexes, all ages, and different races. The majority Hispanic, but other races too. So a little bit of everything, a little bit everyone.
How long have you actually been a mental health therapist? How many years?
About 12 years.
Wow.
Beautiful, beautiful. So real quick, can I so can we I don't want to say put the mental health therapist aside. I just want to talk to Jazmine for a quick second, real quick, because I know there's a difference between being a professional. I just want your honest opinion first, real quick, right? Okay. All right, so first, real quick, I got a couple quick answers. Quick questions for you. First things that come to your mind, don't think about it too much. These are all centered around self-care, really quick. Just shoot whatever comes to your mind, okay? It's going to be one or the other. All right, really quick. All right. So when it comes to wine, red or white?
Ooh.
Real quick, come on, come on.
White.
Red or white?
White.
White. Beautiful beach or beautiful pool?
Beach.
Okay. Morning sunrise or late night sunset?
Sunset.
Okay. Aromatherapy scents, right? Floral or food?
Floral.
Candlelight dinner or breakfast in bed?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Real quick.
Come
Candlelight
on.
dinner.
What'd you say?
Candlelight dinner.
Okay. Back massage or foot massage?
Back.
Back. Okay. I got a personal chef or a living maid?
Ooh. Ooh.
Quick.
Come on.
The chef.
Chef. Okay, cool. Your own private jet or your own private yacht?
The jet.
Nice. Okay. You finally won the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
Finally won the lottery. What is your first trip booked?
Oof. Where?
Girl, you got the globe. Where you going?
Ooh, that's hard.
5.
It has to be one place.
4.
One
3.
place.
It has to be one. You won the lottery. That means you just won whatever that big
Okay, my own
Come
island.
on.
My own island. My own private island.
Ooh.
Give me one.
No, like that. I don't know.
You're
like,
gonna buy island. I like
island.
it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
She's gonna buy island.
I
That
don't
was
know
bold.
the place, but it's like you can rent an island. I would rent an island. That's what I would do.
Good answer. And just last question, real quick. What's your favorite song to relax to when you're just trying to wind down after a long day? Just give me one song.
So I don't have like a song. What I do is I go on YouTube and I do like instrumental relaxation music, and I play that all day, like on the computer while I'm in session. And that's like, I like that to like just chill. But to wind down, just instrumental.
Nice. So real quick, that was just real quick because I just wanted to know Jazmine versus that
was dope. That was good.
Yeah, that was cool. Kayla, were you surprised with my answers?
Was I surprised? No.
Okay.
No.
So is there a difference between like who you are personally and who you are as a mental health therapist, even in terms of like advice? because you may personally tell someone you need to wind down, go and grab a glass of wine. But as a mental health therapist, I don't know if you can actually say that. But what is the differentiating fact in terms of you personally advice and your mental health therapist advice?
So I think what like personal advice is different because I normally know the person, right? Like if it's a friend or family member, and I kind of know like the things that they may gear towards and stuff like that. So I would say that's like the main difference. And professionally, like with clients, we try to make a list of positive and healthy things and coping skills that they can do. And of course I would have to watch out for things like if I have someone who has no spirituality involvement, no religion, no anything, I can't say something like, oh, go pray, or because that's not. So it's really tailored to the person specifically in both aspects, both personally and professionally, I would say.
Yeah. Cool. I got another. I could shoot Caleb again. Right?
I have a question. So, back in 2020, when Corona attacked the world, I work in the health field, and I used to hear a lot of people say, this is the year of the nurse, and kudos to the nurses. I'm not trying to down their work at all. I work with amazing nurses, and they do a great job. But I also felt that we need to put the spotlight on mental health therapists. You guys it takes a special soul to work in that profession, and you're literally putting your issues and your problems and your feelings aside so you can help other people, strangers and family members, cope with what they're experiencing and feeling. So as a professional, as a mental health therapist, as someone who listens to other people's problems day in and day out, what do you do to take care of yourself, to remain sane?
Wow, that's a really good list. For starters, I would say that, I am very grateful and thankful for my job because they did acknowledge us. We did not get a lot of credit, like in the real world, right? Like, I mean, there were some of first responders, this and that, but the way that the pandemic impacted mental health it's very sad. And the way that cases just rose and went up, the amount of wait list we still have to this day, because people are just having anxiety, depression, social phobias, and or just now their mental health was impacted a lot more. So people who were like kind of iffy on do I get services, do I not? After COVID hit and started, it's like, wow, no, I really need services. So I'm very thankful that my job gave us they did a lot of recognition, which I think really helped us feel like worth it. Like we're making a difference. So and it would be something simple, like maybe a Dunkin' Donuts gift card, or stop by and pick up this, like a little Amazon gift card, go pick up a pie or turkey, little things like that just were like, oh, okay, like it made us feel appreciated, which I think was great. So in terms of staying sane, having like my own routine, I'm very into routine, right? Like a lot of things are important to me. A lot of things like faith, family. So I have a morning routine where I wake up, I pray. I actually pray with my sister, and we pray with the dog. He stands there too, and he just
Rose prays too.
Yes, he does. So, and I have my mom sends us. So when I say us, she like sends everyone on her like WhatsApp contact list a morning prayer every day. So after praying, I listen to that, and I have a journal where a gratitude journal where I write things that I'm grateful for. Having that routine, no matter what happens during the day, like if I'm working late, if it's a shitty day, excuse my language, but if it sucks, because some days just really suck, at least I have control of that, right? Like that's the routine. And taking a mental health day. So I personally, I know a lot of people can't do this, but I don't work Fridays. Fridays is the day where I can sleep in if I want to, get up earlier than usual if I want, and do other activities. So it's little things. I have like depending, I guess, on the need, right? So it'll be little things like that, daily things, and then other things like a massage here and there, going for a pedicure, hanging out with the dog on the couch, watching Lifetime movies, like little things like that. Just talking to my grandmothers. It's, with my family, with my aunt, my cousins, my mom, my sister, my brother. So just like having that connection. And then just recently I started this like thing last year where I went on a solo trip to the Finger Lakes, so upstate New York, and it was the best thing ever. I did
Right.
it last year, and then I said to myself, I'm doing it every year for the rest of my life because I disconnect. So I like really just disconnect, and I just hung out, and like you don't have an agenda, you don't have much to do. Kayla and I are also part of a health and fitness community, and we check in with the girls, work out. We've made a lot of friends there. So just keeping in contact and in touch with people. So really like, something that's tailored to what, depending on what you need. So it's always, I like to have like a daily thing, maybe a weekly thing, a monthly thing, and then list the same way you take a 2 weeks vacation from work. Okay, so let me do this, do that type of stuff.
Oh,
That's beautiful.
everything.
Self-care for real, even the simple things.
Oh, self-care for real, yes.
The simple thing. So check
Yeah.
while researching for this podcast, I always just start searching a bunch of things, and I noticed I was going to like coping mechanisms, and I saw like some coping mechanisms as I was reading. They're just not healthy, kind of like avoidance or just kind of ways that people do while they're numbing themselves in some kind of way. And I was just searching. In searching, I wanted to know what is one positive coping mechanism that people can take rather than avoiding or acting like it's not there or trying to kind of change the situation. Sometimes you can't change the situation, but if something's consistently bothering you as a stressor, what is a positive coping mechanism rather than avoiding it?
So I think it's very important to recognize, right, and admit and acknowledge the fact that something is there, that there's an issue, that something's bothering you. And again, I think it's really tailored to personal preference. So if it's grounding exercises, if it's meditation every day, if it's a workout, if it's controlling the controllable, making your favorite breakfast once a week, just one thing that is specifically tailored that you can control and know that it's going to be healthy and make you feel good, and kind of go with that, and then add in little things. I always say that the way you start your day really really makes a difference. So if you wake up a little bit earlier for me time, especially like parents, like, or people who just are like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy with work. Like if you work 10-hour days, but waking up a little bit like an hour or two earlier and just having that space for your you time for whatever it is. If it's watching the sunrise every day while you're drinking tea, if like, whatever is going to make you really feel good about yourself. And then just going with that and adding in, because I think too, sometimes people have a list of 100 things they want to do as self-care, but then you pick one or 13 and then you drop them because you don't like, it's consistency is key too. So at least one daily thing, if it's journaling, if it's calling someone, texting, or just sitting there with yourself, reflecting, hanging out for like 10 minutes, delaying, doing nothing, stretching, little things like that are really going to, I know, like, I'll use Kayla, for example. She's a morning workout person. Like, I could work out at like 7, 8. She works, I'll wake up at 5 and work out. But, something like that, even though she's up super early working out, no matter what happens at the end of the day, if she comes home at 7, 8, super tired, had a stressful day, she got her workout out of the way. So her physical health is already in check, but so is her emotional health, because she was able to control something. Even if the rest of the day was insane, she had control of something early in the morning and she did her self-care activity.
I like that. I like that.
Word control. I think we underestimate that because, like you said, I can have a terrible day, but at the end of the day, when I lay down, I can say, at least I got my workout in. I control that. That is so important. Another key factor that you mentioned was acknowledging the fact that we have an issue. I think a lot of times we pretend, and I always say, for me, you know me, you know I'm going to keep it real with you, but it's also important for me to keep it real with myself. And sometimes we look at ourselves in the mirror, or you know, if you're anything like me, you have conversations with yourself, and you're like, I'm fine, I'm okay. But no, it really is that first step is acknowledging the fact that something's bothering you. And you know what? I need for myself, or I need to seek help. So that leads me to the next question. What advice do you have? And of course, I always care about us ladies and I'm all about women empowerment. But I really want to focus this question for the men because I think that a lot of times they get caught up in the hustle and, you know, father, or being a boyfriend, husband, and just being a hero. Completely feel that they're not entitled to a day off, or they're not entitled to self-care, or to say, you know, I'm so specifically for men, what advice do you have for them if they're just lost and they don't know how to even define self-care, or where to begin to start taking care of themselves, or to even speak up to their loved ones or a friend and say, I need you to help me with something today. I need help. I can't do it.
Acknowledgement is really key. Like, you have to be willing and able to accept the help. You have to be willing and able to know that it's okay, that nothing is perfect, that there's nothing wrong with setting boundaries, with saying no, with saying, you know what, that might be a little too much, or I just being okay with saying no, because a lot of times we as people, you know, and men too, feel from, well, not men, but you know, from what I hear, just like going, and it's like, how do you say no without feeling guilt, or without feeling like, oh, but I should have, because I'm X, Y, and Z, because I'm the boyfriend, I'm the father, I'm the husband, I'm the parent, I'm the son, I'm the whoever. But there's only 24 hours in a day, right? And if you, everyone's first, you're going to be tired and worn down. And what does that lead to? A lot of just guilt either way, questioning yourself, anger, like just being irritable, moody, wanting to just send everybody the F off and just be alone, right? Or it could also lead to the negative coping skills, the drinking, the alcohol, the crazy sex, just like insane things that are just like numbing. So, you know, like, it's completely okay to acknowledge and be okay and seek help. Like, I always say, everyone should have we should see a therapist, like, at any time in your life, because we're all going through things, right? And some things we share, other things we don't. And then some things you just want someone that where you can express this judgment-free zone and self and just talk about things. Right? So for men, it's like, you know, and I'll just, for example, I'll use my caseload. I have a lot of guys, and a lot of guys, I have a lot of older male clients, but I also have guys in their 20s, in their 30s, that I'm like really proud to see, you know, that they're like, I just need someone to vent to, someone to talk to, someone that's not gonna, you know, be my mom, my wife, my this, do this, get me that, I need help, and just really be okay with sharing their pain, with sharing the stressors, and and I'm like, not only sharing it, but also accepting the help, right? So, okay, this is how I'm gonna go about it from now on. This is what I'm gonna tweak, what I'm gonna try and change. So, and like, and again, you know, I heard when Josh said something, you mentioned just kind of sounded like feminine, right? So it's sometimes too like that fear of, oh, what do I look like walking in and getting a pedicure type of thing, right? It's like, why not? You got feet, we all got feet. You know, take care of those feet. Like, just little simple things. you know, if it's sitting down at your favorite coffee shop and just watching whatever, like just people watch, or just sit there, read a book, or listen to a podcast or a song, and just really be with yourself. So there's so many ways and so many things, and it's perfectly okay, like, to just really take care of yourself,
Mm.
you know. So, and especially with again with guys, you know, I think that society too just put so many labels on, oh, this is what a female should look like, this is what a male at a certain age should look like, you
Mhm.
know. And there's this meme that I love that goes around, and I hope they make the male version of it, but I know like the female version, it has like a girl, and it says woman in her 30s happy, and then she has like a box of pizza and a bottle of wine, and then it says woman in her 30s also happy, and it has a woman holding a baby, right? So everyone is different stages, you know,
Mhm.
like, and like 2 30-year-olds can be at couple, one could have 5 kids, one can be traveling the world, right? So it's like everyone goes at their own pace, and a lot of times, you know, just like this, oh no, I gotta build, I gotta do this, I gotta grind, I have to work and provide. But then when you burn out, when you're tired, how do you take care of yourself
Mm.
in a healthy way?
I love that.
Compare
I,
feels joy.
Heard of.
That society pushes that on us to compare yourself. Like for me, and so prime example, I just turned 30 years old. I have also have friends in their 30s who are doing the same thing as me, making money and but I also have friends in their 30s who have children, and that's okay. Who are married, and that is completely fine. It all goes down to what makes you happy. You can't compare yourself to others. And you also made
man,
another very important statement that I love that you said, just telling someone you're proud of them, especially a man. I think that and Josh, you can answer this. I think that motivates you guys so much, and you need that reassurance, and you need that just knowing that someone is watching you from the outside in, and that we're proud of you, and we genuinely mean it.
man,
Mm-hmm.
the simple things, the
Yeah.
simple things. Yes, that's magic. That's
Yeah.
magic. Can I? So one thing also you said that was super duper key. You said like the ability to just say no.
Mm,
Sometimes we think that that's not like a reality kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Story that I have as a personal trainer, as a group fitness instructor, I prided myself on service. I
mm,
had dedicated to a challenge that was, I think, a 21-day challenge, and it was basically 21 exercises consistently. And as I started going, I was committed to it. I got committed to it, and I remember going to like maybe the 18th or 19th day, and I was just pushing and pushing and giving all I got. At the same time, I was working at night and leaving my job to do a video every morning.
Mm.
And long story short, I put myself to the point of like exertion. And I made it to the 21 day, but on that 20th day, I was like really killing myself. And then what happened, I kind of didn't teach another class for another 6 months. So that's how men do. We kind of build up, and then it's an explode.
mm.
And if we're not saying no periodically or taking those measures of self-care,
Right.
sometimes we crash and burn just because we think that's our responsibility to just always be there for people. So,
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know, I think it's very important to be okay with acknowledging and identifying emotions. Like I'm big on that with especially like the little kids, but with adults too. Like be okay with saying I'm upset today, or I'm angry, or I'm this, or I'm that. And you know,
amen.
yeah, and I think that you know, I'm very proud of New York for being the first state in this country to have mental health as a class
Mm,
for kids starting in elementary school. When
Mhm.
I read that, I was like, yes, because there's just so much that isn't said, that isn't taught to the kids, right? So, you know, for example, Shanti, who's a fitness, right? He's like a well-known fitness instructor. He has 2 sons, and I see that a lot of what he does with his boys, he has twin boys, they talk about emotions and
Love it.
they talk about feelings. And you know, his kids like, well, I'm sad because of X, Y, and Z, and I felt X, Y, and Z. So he'll have these conversations, and he posts these videos of the kids acknowledging emotions, identifying them, and then having a solution. Well, to fix this, I can do, and that is great. These kids are like maybe 4 or 5, you know, so starting young. But when I tell you that I was like, every state in this country needs to follow New York and do
Yes.
this whole mental health thing
Yes.
and start talking about emotions, feelings. Kindergarten, the same way they're picking out colors, you pick out these feelings, right? And these emotions.
Woo!
Yeah.
And of course,
Bars.
these are 2 young little boys. Fast forward to years later, they're going to be 2 grown men who can articulate their emotions, who can tell them how they freaking feel, because they struggle in the emotions departments. So starting them young is important. And not
Right.
only just who, but they can say, you know what? No, I don't like that tone of voice that you used with me, or I don't like what you said, or I don't like what you're doing. Those words, believe it or not, people have such a hard time with saying that.
Yeah, they really, really do. Yeah.
Start that child.
Yeah. And I like to, you know, another thing that I like to do is like teach people to use I statements, right? Because people are so can easily be hurt by, you made me upset by doing X, Y, and Z, or you did this that you do all the time, and look at how you made me feel. You know, so it's always when you switch it and you're like, I felt hurt when X, Y, and Z, it sounds different. Same message, but you're switching it around. So you're talking about how you felt, but also the person is like, oh, they're able to recognize, oh, wow. Right. So that, and I think, you know, setting boundaries, saying no, and not even giving an explanation. Like, I always felt like sometimes I have these conversations with Kayla about certain things, and I'm like, well, who's the such and such police, right? Who's the no police? Nobody. Like, no, I don't want to, or just no, I can't. That's it. Nothing else needs to be said. And a lot of times we just feel that we owe people an explanation or a reason. Oh, I said no and I feel bad. But if you need a day to yourself, the time, or if you have a lot going on, you can't, right? So I think emotions really go a lot with self-care.
I love that. I think even with fitness, think about people, men, we automatically associate fitness with being a physical fitness. We don't think about emotional fitness. We don't even correlate those two things when we think about fitness. It's strictly just the body. And as long as our body is good, we're all right. But we're crying inside, or we're not knowing how to really tap in. So I love everything you said. Clap it up for that.
Oh, that's dope. I also wanted to share something. I shared it with Josh earlier. I was telling him how when I want to say this probably happened like about a year ago, I think. I was like, my commute to work just seems so boring, and you know, I'm just not motivated to driving there, and I'm just not motivated to going. And Jazmine told me, switch it up. The highway, going downtown, going through and look at the houses, connect with nature, connect with the trees, just switch it up so you can see the difference. And something that I thought was so small, and of course I never doubted her, I never doubted that it was not going to work, but I said, that's something so small, so simple. That changed everything for me. Literally, I changed up my routine by changing my commute to work. Instead of hopping on the highway, I would say, you know what, I am going to drive and look at houses, or leave a little bit earlier and just connect with nature and take the long way instead of just taking the short way to work and feeling like, oh, I made it here so fast, I had no time for myself. That was something so small, but something so big. And I think everybody needs to hear that. Switch it up, connect with nature, ground, add a little bit of spice to your day-to-day routine, because that's also
change of scenery. You know, sometimes we're so
Change the
just on
scenery.
the
I had to go to a
go.
different room. Change the scenery.
Yeah, change the scenery, like on the go, 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 go. And, you know, like depending on where you live, it's like, well, this is how I have to get to work. You know, I take this bus and I get off at this stop, and then I walk 10 blocks, and then I do this, I do that. Or I jump on the highway and, you know, I drive 10 minutes and do. So trying something different, you know. Funny little story. So my godfather, he lives in Queens, and whenever I go visit him, he's like, oh, come on, let's just go hang. And I'm like, okay. So, you know, he'll like to just go everywhere. So he's like, oh, let's go to the airport. I'm like, who are we picking up? Nobody. He just likes to go. So we'll take the train there, and then the bus, and then he's like, on the way back, you want to take the ferry? And then we're walking 20 blocks, and I'm like, okay, you know, but it's just, it's different. It's the change of scenery. So, you know, really doing something that it's a little different, and it just keeps you kind of motivated and keeps you going.
And perspective, seeing things from a different view. Check. I had a question that I was gonna pose to Kayla earlier, but I want to pose it to you both. When I'm trying to deal with something emotionally, I find like a secret place or like a favorite place that I have. And for me personally, it's a park in Mount Vernon that my uncle used to take me to when I was young. And it reminds me of my childhood. It reminds me of everything that's beautiful. It has a lake right there and has a bridge that I remember going past. And I just love that place. For y'all guys, what is your secret place, your favorite place that you like to seclude to when the world is kind of getting a little crazy?
I can answer that for the both of us.
I think we're gonna say the same thing. Yep.
So, our grandfather passed away in 2008, and our grandfather was our everything. His was always that he wanted to be cremated. So, and you know, in our family, we're from Queens, Astoria. So also in his wishes, he wanted to be cremated, and he wanted us to throw some of his ashes in Astoria. So whenever our world is chaotic, whenever everything's just falling apart, or we just need to disconnect to connect, we go there. And when I tell you that not only do we feel connected to him, but we feel connected to our roots, we feel connected to our home, we just feel so at peace. And we can literally sit there for hours.
We just sit there.
Just sit there for hours, just looking at the water. And what's the best part of it all is that our grandparents' old building is right there by the water, the ashes. So we're able to reminisce, and we're just able to have such a good time. And that really fills our cup. We leave there feeling brand new. Like, you know what? That little small issue we were stressing wasn't even that big because Grandpa reassured us. And we're back to normal. We're good.
Nah, seriously, yes. So is that the same answer for you as well?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's a beautiful thing. It's important to have those spaces. Some people, in their own house, some people call it like a prayer closet or like a secret space where they just kind of go in their seclusion and kind of get their mind right. And sometimes when the world is crazy, or even your house is crazy, and you don't have that secret space, it's like nowhere to kind of run. So that's super duper big. That's awesome.
Absolutely. And also, like I have mentioned before, we come from a family that's huge on faith and huge on God. And you know, I know everyone has different beliefs and religion, but just really having that one-on-one conversation with God. And I always tell people, sometimes people are like, oh, I don't even know how to pray. I don't know where to start. I'm like, just sit in silence. If you don't even know what to say, or if you don't know how to pray, sit in silence. No one knows what he does. And he can hear all of our thoughts. That's why I always say, please believe God can hear and say and see everything, whether we say it out loud or not. So be intentional, because he is listening to you, even if you sit in silence. So that's also very important to us. And that really helps us regroup and get ourselves back on track, always connecting with God.
Yeah. And we're big on family, like big on family. So, you know, sometimes like, oh, do you just want to go see grandma? You know, just look up tickets and take a flight to see her, or just connect. You know, we're very close. So we speak to our grandmothers every day. We speak to our aunt, our cousin, you know, like we're just every day just having that connection. And I think having a support system is really important too, right? Just having that safe space of people that you can count on, and just let them know how you feel and what's going on. I think that's very important too, because a lot of times, you know, it's real easy to feel lonely, to not know where to go, where to start, or whatever. But we're all human at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think Kayla drove it home when she was saying just that silence, being able to almost feel safe in your being. I was talking to a friend, and she suffers from sickle cell. And she shared with me that pretty much she doesn't feel safe in her own body. And I was, before her actually saying that, I was trying to tell her, go in a beautiful environment, you know? So maybe go on top of a mountain, go to here, or surround yourself by people who are pouring into you. And she was looking for reasons to smile. And I was trying to give her reasons that I thought would make her smile. But when she went all the way in, she was saying, my body doesn't give me a reason to smile. And since birth, she's probably had, her introduction to this world has been, probably her memory has been painful. So it's important. So yes, we can change our settings, we can change our people around, but it's super duper important to find that safe space within yourself, whether going to God, improving your health, so you don't have what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, a bad relationship with yourself. And basically, some people are at turmoil within their own self, and they're constantly fighting themselves, regardless of who they are around or what mountaintop they're on.
Or the scenery.
So find that peace in yourself. That's dope. And that's, yeah.
That's very powerful. Jazz, I had one more question too. So we know technology is so advanced, right? And we have to learn to use it to our advantage. So what is a way that you can use technology or our smartphones or social media to find tips and maybe support groups for self-care, for putting yourself first and not feeling so guilty?
So that's a really good question. Something, again, right? Tailor things to your liking. So my job, well, I have another job, not mental health related, because that I couldn't do, not two of those. But I work for a nonprofit, and we just finished a steps challenge, right? So something that is going to help you physically, emotionally, spiritually, right? So something like a workout program, yoga, meditation, learning how to breathe, learning groundwork, is something that is like really, really good, right? Because you're working and everything is combined and everything goes together. So our phones are great for that, counting our steps. If you like set yourself to have like a water challenge, an app that's going to be like, okay, you have this many these many ounces left, things like that are trackable on the phone. Another thing that I like to use the internet for, like, so like I said, doing telehealth, I set on my computer YouTube, just relaxation music in the background, and I have that going all day. And one of the things that I like, especially with the little kids, I like to tell them it's just there to help you relax, because our body picks up everything, right? So our body picks up all these energies. If you're stressed, like when you walk in a room and you read it, like your body, right, your body starts to feel like, I don't know this. So it's the same with our health, right? So something like that, like if you can set a relaxing tone, something simple like a diffuser, where you put like drop of some lavender oil in there and just have the room smelling nice or something like that. I have apps that I really, really like. So I do there's an app called Simple Habit that has like a meditation app. It is a meditation app, but it has a lot of different things. Like it has a gratitude prayer on there if you wanted that. If you just want to listen to like rain, and it even has bedtime stories. Like it has a whole bunch of things that can really help you for whatever you need. If it's a midday pick me up, if it's like a morning meditation, something to help you at night. Technology can really be used to our advantage. So yes, a lot of apps. There's Headspace. Headspace was real big in 2020 because it offered like a lot of free things, and it did a lot of talk, and they still do, on mental health. So it said a lot. That's another good one that I like. Another one that I like is called Stretch Minder. That one, it's literally an animated little person that helps you stretch. So it tells you how to stretch. And that I like to personally use because doing telehealth all day from home on the computer, right? Like all the time. I went to the chiropractor on Monday, And he's like, and he actually gave me a really good tip that I'll share with you guys. He's like, with telehealth, he's like, you're like this all day, typing away and hunched and doing all this and that. So with StretchMinder, what I like about that app is you can set a timer, and every like 45 minutes or every hour, it'll remind you to get up and stretch. And you could pick if you want to do upper body, lower body, real simple like neck stretches, doing this with your fingers, that type of stuff. But it'll also have on there text a friend. You could set a timer to take a break from work, and it'll say, have a coffee break, and then it rings and it's like time to go back to work. So it really helps you disconnect throughout the day while you're still doing the day-to-day. But what the chiropractor said that I was like, you know what, that's pretty good. He's like, get a ball. He's like, get one from Amazon if you don't have like those big exercise ones. He's like, just lay there and just like literally open yourself up on this ball for like 10-15 minutes. He's like, so you're undoing your day. He's like, all day you're hunched and you're like this, and you're literally at the end of the night just opening everything up and just hanging out. He's like, it not only does so much good for your back, like for your body. He's like, but at the same time, you're just hanging out, not worried about nothing because work is done. You're disconnected. You're gonna chill, maybe just go on the couch after that and watch a movie, but you're really just there. So, it's really like anything that will help you kind of connect your physical health with your mental health and your emotional, spiritual, all of that. Our technology is great for that. We have an app where we can track our workouts, we can track like our meals and all of that. And again, it goes back to kind of just being in control of little things like that you can do. That can be real helpful.
Amen.
Really. So I put in the comments, you said Simple Habit, Meditation, and Gratitude app, right? What was the second app you mentioned?
Headspace.
Headspace.
Headspace. I've used that before.
Yeah. And StretchMinder. That's the one with the little person, the animated person tells you how to stretch or to just take a break.
Absolutely. So I have something, it's not an app. This is something that I've shared before, but it was an exercise that I've done that was awesome. Someone said, write 100 things that you're grateful for. 100. And I was like, wow, that's a lot. So I went to just start writing them down, and it seems like you're kind of writing forever, but what you're doing as you're writing them, you're replaying everything you're seeing. So you're writing, even if you only get to maybe 50, I probably got to like 27, 30, but literally you challenge yourself to do as many as you can, 100. And as you're reading it out loud, and you're replaying it in your mind, and it's really like a whole exercise where you're just going in. Right. I'm grateful for this. You're just searching for stuff. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, grateful for that. Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Grateful for that. Yeah. So that one exercise, it transformed my morning one time, and that's something that I share a really lot. And when we do end a podcast, we always give just gratitude, really quick, just gratitude, and I think that's the key to resetting your mind.
Yeah.
When things are going crazy, it's like this is out of place, this is out of place, this is out of place. Yeah. If I can center myself and say, hey, I'm grateful for this. I just kind of took inventory of my life. I was like, oh, okay, ooh, it's not that bad. So in this moment, I'm grateful for every tip that you shared. I'm going to replay this, and like I said, all of the apps you shared, all of the
I have one more tip. Go
ahead, go, girl.
So if it's like, if you're a pen and paper type of person, and sometimes, like I love to read, and there's nothing better than to just feel a book, right? Or versus I'll do audible if I need to, but there's nothing better than just sitting there highlighting and stuff. But yeah, a gratitude journal. So I have this journal and I like to swap. Like I'll get an English one, and then once I finish it, I'll go to a Spanish one, and then I just like do it like that. But there's this one, the English one, that it has 3, and something you could do, and they're all on Amazon, and you could do it at night, you could do it in the morning, depending on your style and what's going to work best for you. But with this specific one, and I can share the link with you guys after. So it has, one of my favorite things is music, right? So music It's very calming, very soothing, depending on the mood, depending on what's going on what you need at that moment. There's a playlist for it, right? And this specific journal will have 3 songs that you're grateful for that reminded you of someone that you loved. There's just little things like that that really bring that gratitude to like into perspective, which sometimes, you know, we're like, oh, we have this, we have that, and it's like, oh, why am I grateful to have a door like in my room, you know, or something like that. That might be like basic, but no, not everybody has a door in there, you know, not everyone has a room.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's little things like that. But, you know, so there's, or even coming up with your own gratitude journal or just a list. Like, if you don't even have time or money or you don't want to spend or whatever, jotting down 3 things. Or, you know, I once did this, I'll tell you guys a story. It was very interesting. I did this gratitude challenge. It was like on Instagram. This was like a few years ago. And it was like a 30-day, I had to, every day I was like, okay, I have to find something I'm grateful for. So pre-pandemic, I went to a client's house and I had my favorite set of earrings on. So I go visit my client, I leave, and then on my way home, I'm like, damn, I lost my earring. Like, just one earring. That was just like in my head the whole time, right? I visit this lady twice, every 2 weeks. So it was rainy, like it was pouring hard that day. And I was like, I'm never gonna find it. It's probably in the grass. Who knew? I probably ran over it, telling myself 1,000 things. And I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just buy a new set of earrings. And 2 weeks later, I go to her house. As I'm walking to her door, I park, and on the grass, there's my earring just looking at me. I was like, what earring? A whole 2 weeks later, it rained, snowed, poured, everything happened. So here I go, my gratitude. I'm grateful for having found my earrings 2 weeks later. You know, but my point is that when you go back and read the little things that you're grateful for, you just sit there and you're like, wow. You know, like I love doing that. So with these gratitude journals that I do, that I like to write in, they have like a 30-day reflection. But so at the beginning of this year, I read through my gratitude journal from last year. Wow, did I have some stuff in there.
Wow.
That, you know, so it really brings a lot of reflection. And like, we don't have to like be alive every day, you know what I mean? Like you do not know what's gonna happen tomorrow. So it's like really gratitude, like be grateful for absolute everything, for having socks, for something that simple. Because
that's true.
You know, you go
it's
to
cold
like,
out there, baby. It's cold out there.
It's real cold out there. And you know, it's one of the things that's like the number one thing that's asked for at a shelter. You know, they give you a list of things and it's socks. So you're like, something so simple and socks. You know, and another thing that I think is very helpful and that really helps with self-care and just feeling good, giving back, right? So even if it's like donating to a charity, volunteering at a soup kitchen, just something, because again, it goes back to helping you feel good. Your mental health is going to feel good. Emotionally, you're going to feel good. Spiritually, you're going to feel good. You know, Kayla, you want to tell them what we did last year and we're thinking about we're going to do it again this year?
Yes. And wow, this is the first time we share it publicly, actually.
It is, yeah.
Hopefully, in sharing this, we hope that we can motivate and inspire other people to do it. So holidays in our families are huge. Especially Christmas, Thanksgiving and Christmas, that is huge in our family. Especially for me, I love Christmas. So last year, my sister and I decided to buy, how many gift cards did we buy? I think it was like 20 gift cards.
I think we did 20, yeah.
We bought 20 Dunkin' Dollar gift cards and we decided to give them to every crossing guard that we saw on the road. Like randomly, like we drove near schools, we drove up the street from our house, we drove near our jobs. And I remember they were all like
one guy that touched your heart.
Yeah, one guy like touched my heart. To this day, I still think about that man, this older man that I want to hug him every day if I can. When I gave him the gift card, he said, I have not received a Christmas gift in years. It's been, and I just could see, I'm about to cry. Oh my God. Oh my God. When he said that, that completely broke my heart because I could really see his emotions on his face and his gratitude and how happy he was and just so grateful. And something, for some people, prime example at work, we receive gift cards all the time. A lot of time they're for Dunkin' Donuts. And I hear a lot of people saying, oh, another Dunkin' Donut gift card?
I can't stand that.
Was literally in tears and so happy that we gave him a Dunkin' Donut gift card. And that was his first Christmas gift in years. Mm. And he also mentioned, I don't have a family. I don't have kids. It's just me. Like, his job and his coworkers, those are his family.
And there he was with a smile on his face in the bitter cold, crossing these kids, right? And just doing his job to go home to empty everything.
To empty house, especially on the holidays. So I know that to this day that puts a smile on his face. And
hopefully we find him again this year.
Yeah, I hope we find him again this year, because we're gonna do it this year and the next and forever. God, if you are in a position to help someone, please do it.
You know, the thing about gratitude, like, you can't focus on lack and be grateful at the same time. It's like fear and love. If you're focused on the love, you're losing the fear. Or if you're focused on the fear, you're not focused on the love. So even just you switching in that moment real quick to some thought of gratitude, at the same point, you're not thinking about what I don't have.
Right.
So it's a quick mental hack. Real quick.
Absolutely.
Jazmine, right now in this moment, one thing you're grateful for, give it to me.
Another year of life.
Amen. Simple things. Hey. Kayla, right now, one thing you're grateful for.
I know we're running short on time, but I have one more question. But
hey, go ahead. Do your thing. Go ahead. I'm in gratitude right now. Go ahead.
Talk to answer what I'm grateful for. Honestly, today, right at this moment, I am two things. For my sister celebrating another year of life, and I had a very long and busy, kind of stressful day at work, but I am grateful for my place of employment, because I know a lot of people who do not have a job, and I have been there for years, and I continue to grow within the company. So I'm super grateful for my job.
Amen. Amen. I'm grateful for this conversation right now. This conversation is really dope. And even recognizing men, how much we kind of need it. We need those self-care, or even you saying that it's okay for us to just say no. It's okay for us to kind of accept help, ask for help. Hearing women say those things, those are really affirming. And it's the simple things, the recognition, saying, hey, I'm proud of you. Those little things really mean a lot to a man after he's going and hustling and bustling and putting everyone before him. So simple things. Hey, I'm proud of you. Good job, Dad. Whatever. It's beautiful. So I'm grateful for this whole entire conversation. But yeah, what was on your mind, Kayla? Talk to me.
So talk to us. Question. Well, before see, whenever we have a conversation, we're like, but wait, before I say this, let me say that.
One more thing.
I think that you feel acknowledged and appreciated, Josh, because I think it's important for me and us as women to also acknowledge the men in our life. That we want you guys to acknowledge us and support us and be there. So, and all the guys watching this and all the men in the world working hard, we appreciate you guys. So that's that. Jazmine, one last question. Talking about work, as we know, a lot of us spend more time at work and more time with our coworkers than we do at home and with our own families. So self-care tips while you're on the clock, while you're at work, while you're at the office, or even working from home.
Go on.
The Stretch Minder app, because, we're so busy just going, like just really giving your body 2 minutes. And again, I like the app because you could do a 5-minute just sitting there with yourself, listening to your favorite song, watching funny videos on TikTok, and then going back to work, right? Disconnecting. Your lunch break has to be like your lunch break. Like I know people that do not talk about work during lunch. That's right. Like let it be that time for you. Even if it means like if you have, the privilege, the advantage to leave for an hour, come back, and that's something you can do that. If it's 30 minutes to yourself, do that. And just during that time, just really, it'll kind of sound funny I'm saying this, but there's actually a like food meditation, and it's like, so it's very interesting. You just like sit there and you count, like you chew 20 times, and it's like you sit there and you're like doing this thing. It's kind of weird, but it's like it does this thing, right? Because you're like really digesting your food, but you're just really into your lunch. And, you know, you're not rushing. You're not just coughing down a sandwich, swallowing down whatever to then run back to work. Disconnecting while still connecting, right? So throughout the day, disconnecting the for yourself, you know, like a few things. If it, like, when it's nice out, and if you could like walk around the block or go across the street or go somewhere with a coworker, right? That's something that's kind of cool and fun to do. So there's so many things, so many, again, boundaries, saying no politely, right? Because there's, you know, that reminds me of something, an email I had to send today. Well, actually, I'll give an example because I keep it just as real as my sister. Last week, someone pissed me off at work with an email, and I just like tapping away. And then I was like, you know what? I took a break, like an hour break, and I was like, I'm gonna go chill. I came back because I was like, when I hit send, it's gonna be there forever, right? So I had Kayla, you know, review it and read it, and then I texted my supervisor, and then I was okay with how it came out because I said what I had to say nicely. Had I sent that when I was on fire, yes, so it would have been something else. But, you know, so just like really, and again, what I checked myself, and I was like, no, disconnect. And so it's completely okay. Like, you know, and with work and with life and just with people in general, sometimes you have to like disconnect yourself from situations sometimes and just check yourself and do certain things and then go back to whatever it is at the moment. So there's so many things that you could do at work, you know, just really enjoying your lunch break, stretching, taking a break from the computer. You know, like if you get, I know sometimes people get like a 15-minute break plus half hour, 45 minutes, hour lunch break. Really use that time for yourself. Don't work through your lunch break. You know, like it's a lunch break. Work is still going to be there. You know, I came back from vacation. Kayla and I came back from an amazing vacation. I came back to 109 emails. I was like, I will get to them when I get to them. And none of them, but you know what? None of them were marked urgent. None of them were in red. Nothing was an exclamation. I said, oh, yeah, just wanted to chat. So we're going to go through them.
That's right.
So really just know your needs, you know, and again, saying no, setting boundaries is really, really a big thing. And I think too, sometimes at just every job, you know, people are just so used to, oh, give it to so-and-so because, you know, she's always going to say yeah, or he's just going to, you know, on his way, do this. You don't have to.
Amen.
Wow.
I think Kayla needed that. That was a personal question with her.
I for sure
took that work.
You know the day I had, Josh. You know I for sure did that.
I got one more question. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more thing.
And I have a question for Josh, actually. Yes.
Ooh.
You go first. Go ahead. Go. You go first.
What was your self-care like before this call? And what did you learn and know you needed and can implement starting tomorrow from this conversation?
Wow.
She shines the light all the way on me. She's like, I think well, first being out here with my mom, so I kind of left the city to kind of heal up. I have a foot injury, right? And I left the city to kind of heal up with my mom and really just take my time. So my self-care initially was rushing to kind of get back to service. Hurry up, rushing, or when is this foot going to heal up, or I need to go back to the class. And I really didn't take time to really just chill, allow the process to happen. The doctor said the only thing that can heal is time and immobility. So just chilling and relaxing.
Literally, so you're being forced to just chill.
I'm being forced to chill. Yeah, I'm learning how to not be so. What I will take from this conversation is first articulating, you know, when I need help, accepting, and also creating boundaries and saying, you know, no, I'm not going to be available at this time, or I don't know my timeline, but I'm just kind of just getting into the process and really just allowing things to take place without trying to do the manly thing and be of service and all this other stuff. So just taking time with myself, not putting any specific timeline, but really peeping into what kind of self-care I really need.
I love that.
Does that answer?
Good.
So my question for you, just give me one book that you recommend we all read. I'm sure we all would love to know from a mental health therapist standpoint, one book that
One book
we all should run out and read. Yes.
So I actually have this book that I think I read it during like a really, really tough time in my life a few years ago. And I think everybody should read it. Just because we all go through things in life. It's called How to Survive Change You Didn't Ask For.
Ooh.
Hold on. Let me screenshot that. Hold on. Okay, wait. Hold it up. How to Survive.
Right there?
I got it.
Ooh.
I
love.
And it says,
what's the author's name? I'm sorry. What is the author's
MJ
name?
Ryan.
MJ Ryan. How to Survive Change. Got you.
So bounce back, find calm in chaos, and reinvent yourself. And he's also the author of Attitudes of Gratitude. See, here we go. Back to gratitude. This book, when I tell you, it really, because you know, a lot of times when we go through things, we think that it's really like the world is gonna end. Of course, like we all go through really, really tough times and, you know, moments in our lives. And I'll just real quick, so I read this. I had a really bad car accident a few years ago. I was out of work for a really, really long time. I was in physical therapy for like 3 years. And every single day, physical therapy, working 2 jobs. So, you know, you go from going independent, doing your thing, to having to slow down, to heal, to go through things. And it's like, how are you broken, but you still continue to be okay and live every day with your regular self, like daily to-dos. This book has guidance, which I like, right? And it really leads people to just knowing that like things are gonna be fine. So it's a really, really, really good book.
And a reminder that life is unpredictable, and sometimes life will throw curveballs, or we're put in situations that we didn't ask for, and we don't know how to maneuver them or handle them or react to them. So I will definitely be reading that book. I am going to steal it from her desk, borrow it.
And I believe I got this at Barnes and Noble, but I'm sure Amazon has it. I love Barnes and Noble. One of my favorite stores. But yes, I think it's a book, you know, it talks about top 10 change sinkholes, and just truths about change. Like, change is going to happen no matter what, you know, like who you are today is not the same person who you'll be in a year from now, next month, right? Tomorrow, because I'm not the same person I was yesterday because I'm a year older, right? So it's like every time, you know, and there's a lot that goes with change. And I think this is a great book.
Yeah.
Wow.
Once again, happy birthday to you, girl.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
God bless you with many, many more. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for so much love. I had an amazing birthday. There are a lot of people on here that were part of my amazing day. I am blessed. Really, really am. And you guys are doing great with this podcast.
Thank you.
Keep having great topics, bringing on speakers, sharing with the world. Everyone needs to hear what you guys have to say.
You know why? Because we need each other.
That's
thank
right.
you so much, Jazmine. We really appreciate you. And thank you for serving our community. We need more mental health therapists that look like us. Hispanic, Black, Brown in the community. We need it. We need, you know, we all we got. So we need to help each other out. So,
and our people will keep it really real. So really, really real. So yes, it is.
So much. This was amazing. I hope everyone tuned in, got to enjoy it. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Thank you for joining. We appreciate it all. Thank you, Jazmine, so much.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for having me.
Much love. What do we do, Josh?
Peace.
Bye.
Pew, pew, pew.
Bye. Good night,
Later.
everyone. Thank you.
That's cool. Bye.